You are listening to the FeedBak
Podcast with my homie Back.
Dan Soder, thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I'd love to hang out in a container.
You feel like we're in the second season of The Wire.
Yeah, I feel like we're in the same container that 8 Ukrainian women died in, being shipped illegally to the United States.
Oh, there's a fake wall somewhere, and then there's some. They were hiding some merchandise up there.
Yeah. This is a cool bar, though.
Yeah, I mean, they built it. They were like, we're going to put a bunch of shipping containers, and the city was like, we need to talk about that. It will take a couple of years.
Yeah,
but why not? This is Austin.
The amount of rust alone that they had to clean off these, it's impressive. You guys got some impressive bars here.
Yeah, love it, man. Every time you come to town, you see it change.
Yeah, man, a lot of construction. This place is changing almost monthly.
So, what was it that made you want to become a comedian?
Oh, we're going that?
Yeah, we're going that. We got 30 minutes, but...
Jesus.
Yes.
I don't know. It was a mix of things. I've always loved comedy, so the thought of being able to do it as a job was, I don't know. It always felt like a pipe dream, but then just jumped in.
Was there that moment? Like you saw somebody, like you saw
Chappelle.
Carlin, Chappelle?
Yeah, probably seeing Chappelle was like where you're like, yeah, I want to do that. I mean, the greats make it look easy, but
Yeah,
Chappelle, it just makes it look so natural. And so, yeah, when I saw Chappelle, I was like, I want to do that.
But I want to give a big shout out to Robert Kelly because that's how I found out about you.
Yeah, big shout out to Bobby Kelly, the Don.
Because I listened to YKWD before Wirecast.
Oh, when it was
Before.
Glory Hole, the Hole.
And Kelly was there.
Yeah, what was it called before Riotcast? Yeah, Glory Hole. I don't know.
I don't remember the name. But, like, I was like, I was a big fan of Colin Quinn Show, Tough Crowd.
Yeah.
That's how I found out about everybody from Robert Kelly to Rich Voss to Keith Robinson. And I'm like, I love that camp.
Yeah, that's easily a very fun camp. It's like, you know, I remember being in college and watching Tough Crowd. I mean, they were nightly. They were like 4 nights a week. People forget that.
With topical, like talking politics and everything.
It was great. It was right during it was leading up to the Iraq War. It was after the attacks. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, those aren't awesome, but it was awesome to have that show on when all that was going on.
Was it hard to get into that circle starting up?
I mean, I don't really think I ever thought I was going to be like a part of, and in no way am I a part of that group, but it's definitely like being an extension of that is flattering.
I mean,
it's like to work at the Comedy Cellar, to have gone on O&A, Opie and Anthony as a comic when they were still together, was, you know, to perform at the Patrice benefit. There's still stuff all the time that it's like, even just to, you know, make stupid, dumb sports bets with Keith is mind-blowing to me.
I mean, just sitting next to Patrice.
I didn't really talk to him a lot. I mean, there's like, you know, when people die, a lot of people want to inflate their connection to the dead. But I was just a fan of Patrice. I'm just a massive fan of Patrice's, and he's one of the greats.
I was glad to see him at Cap City years ago.
That's awesome.
I was sitting in front row, and I could not breathe.
Yeah, man.
I could not fucking breathe.
Easily one of the greatest.
Man. So now you're on XM.
Yeah.
Bonfire. Love the show.
Thanks, man.
Love the show. Love the live show.
Yeah, live at Moontower was a lot of fun.
Well, last year, too, like you came out with a cowboy.
Yeah, we had to rock the cowboy hats again. And this year we got to get Colin Quinn on the show and do a lot of fun stuff. Got the midnight snack from the Comedy Jam, so that was awesome.
Dude, I love it, man. Moontower every year.
Every year. It's my favorite.
It's my favorite festival in Austin. Now, we got South by, of course.
Yeah, but I think Moontower is just a great opportunity for comics to come and enjoy Austin without the bands and the tech and all that stuff that's at South by Southwest.
And what I tell people all the time, I'm like, you get to hang out with the comics. And, like, hold on, it's like, because South by Southwest, you can't touch Kanye when he's walking down the street. If he's even walking.
Yeah, you can just go to the Intercontinental and just meet comics.
I mean, that's how we met.
Yeah.
I met Godfrey that way, and every time he comes to town, he calls me up. He's like, "Back, I'm in town. What's up? Let's go eat. Let's go party." I'm like, I got a job, man. I got shit
Godfrey's
to do.
great, man. I love Godfrey.
Dope. So one thing I wanted to ask you, and it's always weird because, like, for someone who's on the radio, who does podcasts, I mean, you're on Billions now on HBO.
Yeah.
Congrats, by the way.
Thanks, man.
and you get to meet your fans. And I always felt I'm a fan, and I meet someone that I know because I hear him on the microphone all the time, and I watch the specials and everything.
Yeah.
And it's always that awkward moment, like you don't know what to say. You don't know if you want to be you're trying to be funny.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a whole range of stuff of people being aggressive in a way where they think I'm going to understand what they're trying to do, and it comes off wrong.
Yeah.
I've also had people most people are very sweet and nice, and it's just still insane to me to have fans. It's just, I don't know if I'll ever adjust or understand. Pretty much just the way I was raised. It's like, what? You're a fan of mine? But it's cool. But there is being on the radio and being on a lot of podcasts, people definitely think they know you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gives them liberties to do things that I don't know if they do with other people, that like athletes or musicians,
right?
Where they're just they'll bring up something when you're like, that's cool, you know that, but
I don't know you still.
Yeah. Like, I don't know you. Like, it's weird. It's weird for sometimes people have information about you where you're like, oh yeah, but I don't know who you are, and they'll reference something that you brought up on a podcast, and you're like, oh yeah, you know that about me, and you're like, fuck
yeah.
I need to start shutting up on podcasts.
Yeah, you stopped drinking. Now you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got real honest after I stopped drinking.
Yeah, you did.
Just came real clean with all the dirt.
So people come out and just offer you weed all the time?
That's great. I love that part.
Okay, I got something for you.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I love the free weed.
Never turn that down.
Never turn down free drugs.
Never turn down.
Ever.
As far as, there's this big thing now that I've seen a lot of comics trying to get political, especially with, Trump being in the White House. But you don't really go that route.
I mean, if something falls, I'm just trying to be funny, man. If I find a joke in something that's political, then I find a joke in something that's political.
Yeah.
I also think people are getting a lot of politics right now, and they don't really want it in their comedy. There's political comedians, like Dave Smith's amazing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's so well-read and so fucking funny.
Stuff, yeah.
But then, guys, I'm just one of those guys where it's like, if you're a political comic, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm not, and I'm not going to try to be, just because the climate right now. Like, people are like, there's always this call and response of this is the time where artists need to speak up. And it's like, well, first off, comics never call themselves artists. We rarely do. Because if we do, it feels speakers. Gross. Yeah, ugh.
You don't like that either?
No. What it is just trying to be funny. I'm just trying to be funny. If I find a good if I find a joke against the left, I'm going to do a joke against the left. If I find a joke against the right, I'm going to do a joke against the right. I don't really care. The one thing I don't do is I don't want to get preachy. I don't want to tell you.
Thank you.
Someone shouldn't know. And also, I was kind of raised of my political opinions should be my political opinions.
Right.
And kept to myself. If you want to make it's fine. I'm down with activism, but I'm not one of those people I don't feel comfortable enough shouting my opinion in someone's face. I just don't. There's people that do, and God bless them.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
If the crowd, the people just want to hear.
But there's also comedians that are really comfortable about talking about graphic sexual things, and I'm not. It's just really about what you find funny and what you feel comfortable saying to be funny.
That's true. I mean, I personally don't like the preachy kind. I mean, I used to watch Comic View all the time. When I say, well, take care of your kids. I'm like, all right, what else? What else you got?
I mean, I like guys like Bill Hicks, who I get, we're in Austin, Texas, and he's where he started, but I love Bill Hicks. He's one of my favorite comedians of all time. I don't see myself doing that style of comedy. I wanted to at a time when I was 22 and Bush got voted into office, and it's like, again, beat Kerry. I'm like, I got to say something, but I'm not that guy, and I'll never be that guy. Because if I said something about a political opinion, you're like, that's wrong, I'd probably be like, that's wrong. So, I just break easy.
Well, what blows my mind is that there is this, when I hear you or Big J or even Lewis, is that trigger, that constant, I'm just make a remark or I'm going to.
Yeah, it's just being funny.
It is, but I think there is a talent to just coming up with these things on the spot. I mean,
I mean, Mark Norman's one of the quickest. Joe List.
Joe, the truth.
The truth is just, those two guys, Big J, There's a lot of guys like that. Ronnie B, obviously, Ron Bennington was like one of the originals. So,
I mean, that's the kind I like when and in a way when you're standing back and you're watching, you guys interact. You're like, fuck, I wish I had friends like that could just snap at a drop of a dime, and just being brutal with each other but still love each other. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely. If you watch the last, you know what, dude?
I did.
Definitely a lot of
Lewis and Bobby went at it.
Yeah, love and aggression. But there's definitely a thing where, it's just awesome to have friends like that, just to bust balls and I had friends like that growing up, and sometimes you meet someone that's funnier than you are, and they're not a comic, and you're like, all right, don't just tell me. But,
to get those, but just like, being able to, crack jokes, being able to be relaxed, being able to I'm just saying what's on my mind, and let's see how it comes out.
Yeah.
That's really the jump that you're making every time.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't land, and I'm just very lucky that I'm more successful than I am. Like I've thrown out bombs, and you're like, whew.
Here's a bandana for you.
Yeah, it just hurts. But you got to learn. You got to learn to do it. And I think the more you bomb and the more you do that kind of stuff, the more you feel confident taking bigger swings. Mm-hmm. And then there's people that just don't mind taking big swings at all, like Kurt Metzger and shit like that. And it's always great to watch.
Do you actually take the time to you sit down and write, or what's your?
I mean, for what, in what sense?
You say you go into Stellar, for example, and just trying new material.
Yeah, definitely right. I mean, you try to organize your thoughts and then maybe work it out on. I don't know. Everyone's got a different process, but definitely try to organize thoughts and then work it out on stage.
Are you familiar with the Austin comedy scene a little bit?
Great. There's a great scene in Austin. Between Cap City, the Velveeta Room, and a lot of bar shows, it's got a lot of strong locals. Like Chris Cubis is one of my favorite, but I know a lot of guys that live here, like Danny Palumbo and Nick Mullen, and there's a lot of great guys that I know that have came through Austin or been a part of Austin. Mm-hmm. And a lot of funny people in general. There are a lot of great comics in Austin.
I mean, I'm glad because it was, being able to go to Cap City and see Louis C.K. and then there's the Austin, comedian opening for him.
Yeah.
And then you see him now and they're touring and everything. I mean, I love it.
It's great.
Like I literally, I got the comedy bug when I got here and I was at work and I'm like, I'm gonna listen to some shit. And my English was okay. Yeah. I'm from France, but my English was all right. And I'm like, I'm gonna listen. There was this one radio station online and it was just bit after bit. Like just streaming of just I forgot the name of it, but you hear a Louis Black after a Carlin and a Chris Rock, because in France we didn't get any of that stuff.
Yeah,
and we have a French comics.
Yeah, Gad's great.
Gad is he has a residency in New York.
I know, I've met him multiple times. Great guy.
Like it got to a point where we quote him all the time in the family because it's so big in France.
That's great.
And then he was like, "Look, I'm gonna come to the U.S. and just." Start over and do it in English and kill. Yeah, he's great. He murdered at Paramount.
Yeah, and Carnegie Hall. He's great.
Is that Carnegie?
He did Carnegie Hall about a month ago.
Wow.
Or 2 months ago, yeah.
Like, who do you see today? Like, you go see him and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm witnessing, this genius or.
Oh, Chappelle, Rock, Louis, Attell. Yeah, there's a lot of guys who's watching. I mean, there's still so many fucking great comics.
And what would you say to someone who's just trying to start?
Just get on stage as much as possible. There's no substitute for stage time. Absolutely no stage time.
It's the only job where you have to be in front of a crowd to actually try your shit. If you had a guitar, you can just go home.
Yeah, you can write all you want, but you got to go work that shit out. So get on stage as much as possible. Nothing more valuable than stage time.
Man. You hear that, Byron? We're going to get on stage.
Yeah, gotta get on stage.
I mean,
you can't do it. You can't do it.
I did it one time.
Yeah, you gotta go back.
I did it one time, Cap City.
Yeah, you can't do it once and then end it. You gotta go every night. As Chris Rock said, 7 nights a week,
nonstop,
every night.
How long did it take you to really hit your rhythm or your?
I mean, I did it 2.5 years in Tucson, and then at about 2.5 years in New York, I started getting actual spots outside of open mics. Just guest spots and stuff, and then I'll probably say 4 years, 5 years in New York of every night.
Yeah.
I finally started like getting money for spots, being able just to do comedy as a job. So yeah, it's an investment, man. If you want to be a comic, get ready. Get ready to get the shit kicked out of you. Going on stage. Just go up. Maybe not. Maybe you're the best and you'll never fail. But I'll see that happen.
So how long you been doing this?
13 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Man, and you remember your first time?
Yeah.
What happened?
I drank a 40 and smoked a blunt of really shitty weed. And I went with my friend Kevin and Pete, my buddy Sully and Pete. And I signed up. Didn't write anything because I didn't know that was what you're supposed to do. And I went up and just talked. I was trying to make fun of stuff that my friends did that I didn't like.
Uh-huh.
Don't really remember what I talked about, but it went all right. It went well. And then the next 6 months of trying it, I bombed every time.
But you kept trying. You got to get back on.
Oh, yeah. You just keep getting on. And then finally, after like 9 months, started going all right and getting guest spots. And then I started getting guest MC. And then I got MC. And then I moved to guest feature. And then feature. And then I moved to New York. And then was like, oh, all my material sucks, asshole. I have to start completely over again.
Did you do the thing when you write for a year and then you put out material and then just scrap it and start over?
No.
You're not there yet.
No. No one's there. Louis stopped doing that.
Oh,
it doesn't work. You can't do a special in a year. You need 2 years. To make it worth something, the special Louis just put out, it's been how long since put out a special? 2 years, right?
Uh-huh.
Since Comedy Store, right?
Yeah.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
It's fucking great. 2017 is great. It's a great special.
Mm-hmm.
You can rush shit. Even the greats can rush shit. No. If anyone thinks that putting out a material in a year is what the pace is, you're fucking stupid.
I like you looking to the camera saying that. You're fucking stupid.
Dumb if you think it's 1 year to put out an hour. Go make it the best you can, however long that takes.
Yeah.
If it's an hour, maybe someone does a great hour in a year. I don't know. I can't. I can do 2 years.
You're still at
2.5.
So how did the transition to Billions happen?
To what?
The transition to being on HBO?
Oh, it's Showtime?
Yeah.
The opposite of HBO?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch trying to get me fired.
Nobody watches.
Yeah. Fuck that. People watch a shit ton of it. We got a renewed season 3.
Congratulations. You went for an audition or they just saw you?
My buddy Brian, my buddies Brian and David created this pilot and they wanted me to come in and audition for it. So I did. And I had about 4 or 5 auditions. And they were like, we can use you once in the pilot, or if we go to series, we'll write you a role. So I rolled the dice and said the latter and got lucky. They went to series and wrote me a cool role that's been kind of building in 2 seasons. So
congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
You're doing it.
Yeah, I'm very lucky, man. I'm lucky.
Thank you. We're going to wrap things up. I know you got a bunch of shows to go to.
Yeah, more shows at Moontower.
Yes, and then the after party.
Yeah, maybe some drugs to do.
Well, I know I got you. I told you.
Oh, no, I'm already good, though.
Already?
On that front. Other drugs.
Oh.
Back as always, man.
Thank you, man.
You, dude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, dude.
Welcome back to Austin. We always love you when you come to town.
Yeah, dude. I'll see you next time I'm here.
Is it website?
DanSoder.com, at Dan Soder on all social media.
Sounds good. FeedBak, thank you so much. Shout out to Container Bar for letting us host this podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much, Container Bar.
Thank you so much, Dan.
All right, later, dude.
We'll shake your hand. Thank you.